Chandalika by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore was a Bengali poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher and social reformer. He was born on 7th May 1861 in Bengal, British India. The Tagore family was at the forefront of Bengal Renaissance. He learned drawing, anatomy, geography, history, literature, mathematics, Sanskrit and English. He shaped Bengali literature and music. In 1913, he became the first non-European to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. Died on 7th August 1941. Chandalika, published in the year 1933, highlights the harsh reality of caste discrimination, explores the inherent dignity of every individual, exposes redemption, power of love and forgiveness. Summary. Act I. The play starts with the mother searching for Prakriti, the central character who is not in the house. It is midday, extremely hot and all others have returned home from fetching water. Prakriti is found sitting by the well under the blazing sun. She claims to be doing penance for someone who called to her with the words, "Give me water." A Buddhist monk asked Prakriti for water. She told him she was a Chandalini, an untouchable, but he rejected caste divisions, saying all humans are equal. He emphasized that self-humiliation is worse than self-murder. For the first time, Prakriti was treated as an equal and given the chance to serve. The act of giving water became deeply spiritual and transformative for her. She considered it her new birth. The mother is shocked and afraid of consequences. She warns Prakriti about caste restrictions and social boundaries. Prakriti experiences inner joy and freedom. She questions why the monk came to her well if not for a deeper purpose. She compares her act of service to sacred mythological moments. Prakriti now waits by the well every day for the monk to return. Despite his brief presence, his words continue to echo within her. She believes her life now has purpose through the possibility of serving. The mother urges Prakriti to be practical and not defy societal roles. Prakriti resists, saying she now knows her worth and will no longer accept humiliation. The mother reminds her of a time the king's son admired her beauty. Prakriti responds that he saw her as a beast to be captured, not as a person. Prakriti feels that the monk truly saw and recognized her humanity. She wants to offer herself wholly to him, not out of desire but out of spiritual gratitude and dignity. Prakriti rejects the belief that she is cursed by birth. She declares that caste and fate cannot bind her soul. Moved by her daughter's passion, the mother agrees to help call the monk. Prakriti refuses conventional summoning and wants to reach him through inner calling. Prakriti becomes more insistent and pleads with her mother to use her magical spells. She cannot return to a life of darkness after tasting light. The mother warns that such actions are unnatural and dangerous. Prakriti argues that cleansing comes only through such spiritual upheaval. Prakriti reveals that the monk is Ananda, a disciple of the Lord Buddha. The mother is shocked but agrees to begin the spell at Prakriti's insistence. The mother prays for forgiveness before committing the act. Prakriti justifies the act by claiming it is a sacred longing to give. As the monks pass by chanting, Ananda doesn't acknowledge Prakriti. She is devastated by his apparent indifference. She mourns her perceived rejection and accuses herself of reaching above her station. She expresses emotional pain, refusing to believe her feelings were mere dreams. Seeing Prakriti's agony, the mother agrees to use her spells to bring Ananda back. She vows to break Ananda's spiritual pride with her ancient magic. Prakriti urges her to chant the cruelest spell possible. She is now filled with anger and desire, ready to fight destiny itself. Act 2. Prakriti feels unbearable emotional pain, comparing herself to a broken king of the forest. She teeters between letting go of the spell and holding on until the monk comes to her. Prakriti expresses her desire to serve Ananda selflessly. She imagines welcoming him with lamps lit from the flames of her burning heart and healing his pain with the waters of her sorrow. The mother is physically and spiritually drained, nearing the end of her strength. She reveals the month of Ashad has arrived and their spiritual efforts must be nearing their end. Ananda has been traveling and nearing the end of his spiritual resistance. He is described as being consumed by inner conflict and appearing detached and broken. She sees terrifying and symbolic visions in the mirror, mists, fire, torment, and Ananda wrapped in suffering. Prakriti feels their sufferings are fused, his torment is hers, and they are united in that pain. Prakriti experiences something deeper than fear. She witnesses the elemental powers of creation and destruction. Her soul dances with the flames, embodying transformation. In her visions, Ananda's face reflects immense pain and conflict which eventually turns inward. He attempts to suppress his anger but ends up harming himself emotionally. She feels overwhelmed to be spiritually united with Ananda despite her low birth. She sees this connection as something holy and extraordinary. Prakriti performs ritualistic preparations, bathing, drawing sacred circles, lighting lamps and tying the spell thread. She prepares herself physically and spiritually to receive Ananda. She senses his approach as a cosmic event, a storm shaking the earth. Prakriti describes it as her new birth and release from the falsehood of caste. As Ananda approaches, Prakriti is struck with doubt and fear. She wonders if she is worthy of being the destination at the end of his long suffering. Prakriti finally looks into the mirror and is horrified by Ananda's broken, worn-down state. Realizing the harm she has caused, she rejects her own desire and the dark magic used to bind him. Prakriti destroys all the magical stuffs. She renounces her selfishness and proclaims victory to him, honoring Ananda's spiritual strength. Ananda arrives and Prakriti falls at his feet, begging forgiveness. She sees his suffering as a means of her liberation. The mother also seeks forgiveness, offering her life at Ananda's feet. She dies, finding peace in her final moment. Ananda chants a solemn Buddhist prayer, praising the Buddha as the destroyer of sin and suffering. The play ends on a note of spiritual redemption, transcendence and liberation. For more videos, like, share, subscribe. Thank you.